listed as an habitual offender, second offense notice. Today is the date and time set for preliminary examination.
Yeah, no.
Are there, can I have appearances first?
Jacob Bloomers on behalf of the people.
And good morning, Your Honor. Good morning to your staff. May it please this most honorable court, Mohammed Nasser, P74485, appearing on behalf of Mr. Dante Woodward, who also appears standing behind me to the right. Sir, please identify yourself for the record. Your Honor, I'm also assisted by co-counsel attorney Theodore Wallace.
Good morning, Your Honor. Ted Wallace, P80922.
Good morning, sir. Okay, any preliminary matters before we begin?
None from the people, Judge.
I'll just ask for a sequestration order of any all testifying witnesses.
Sequestration is granted. I'd ask the court to let me know if you see, I don't see anyone in the Zoom there's no one in the Zoom gallery, so it's other than an attorney or people working the courtroom. But if there is anyone watching the live stream on YouTube, you should now stop from watching the live stream if you are a witness or potential witness to maintain the integrity of this process. First witness.
Your Honor, the people call Donna Patrice Harris to the stand. I got it marked already.
Well, no, I have to initial with it. We have more. This is number one.
Good morning. If you could please come to the podium and state your full name and spell your first and last name for the record.
Donna Harris, DONNAHARRIS.
Thank you. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're going to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. If you have to make your way over here, there's a little half gate that opens up towards you. You should walk up the steps, and when you sit down in the chair, if you could pull the microphone down so that we can hear you better. Mr. Prosecutor, your witness.
Good morning, Ms. Harris. On the date of October 14th, 2019, were you?
I'm sorry. Would you please state your name again for the record?
Yeah. Would you please state your full name for the record?
Donna Harris.
Okay, Ms. Harris, on the date of October 14th, 2019, were you at the address of 18459 Hubble Street?
Yes,
And is that in the city of Detroit, county of Wayne?
yes.
And how do you know that address?
I stayed there for years. I owned the house at the time.
Okay. Do you live there now?
No,
Okay. And when you were at that address, was there anyone else with you that day?
I was at home by myself.
Oh, yes, put your mask on. Thank you.
But yeah, be careful, I know it'll slip from your nose sometimes when you're talking, so just try to keep it up. Okay, so I asked you if there was anyone else with you at that address on that date.
Besides Dante, I was home by myself.
Okay, well, no, you said besides Dante, so you're saying there was another individual there?
No, I was home by myself besides when he came.
Okay. Now, when you say Dante came, who is that?
My son's father,
And what's his full name?
Dante Woodward, Dante Rashad Woodward.
Okay, and do you see Mr. Woodward here in the courtroom today?
Your Honor, please stipulate identification.
I'd like for her to make an identification. Thank you so much, though.
Do you see Mr. Woodward here in the courtroom today?
Yes,
Could you please point to him and tell the court what he's wearing?
Dante, white collar shirt,
Okay,
from,
let the record show that the witness identified the person as the defendant.
The record will reflect identification of the defendant.
Okay, and so you said that Mr. Woodward, you had a child in common?
yes.
All right, and you said he came over to the house, so about what time of day was this when he came to the house?
It was in the morning, right, a little after he dropped the baby off at school.
Okay. So when he comes to the house, what happens next?
Well, he knocked on the door and asked me, can we talk? I told him no. He insisted, so I let him in. Like he, I opened the door, let him in. He came in, talking calm first, and then started yelling, and then started hitting me.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop you there. you let him in the house, and you said he started hitting you. Where is this taking place?
In the kitchen,
In the kitchen? Now, did you let him in a door through the kitchen or?
the front room, the front door. The kitchen is an open kitchen,
Okay,
so I let him in the front door. We were in the kitchen, he wanted to talk, he started yelling, getting angry,
okay.
and then it started escalating.
And you said he started hitting you.
Yeah.
So, now how is he hitting you?
First he punched me, first he pushed me up against the wall, slapped me, punched me,
Like,
yelled some more.
slow down just a little bit because we're all taking notes here.
Okay. Okay. Well, he, came in, started, yelling at me first. I'm asking him to calm down. And then he's, pushing up against the wall, started hitting me. He punched me, slapped me, punched me to the floor,
Okay, I'm gonna stop you there. When you say he punched you, was that with a closed fist?
closed fist,
Okay. And you say he punched,
slapped me with his open hand,
all right, and then you said he hit you to the floor?
punched me to the floor,
He pushed you to the floor?
punched
Okay.
me to the floor.
And what happened after he punched you to the floor?
I tried to get up, and there was a pot on top of my stove. It was, when you're cooking, you got cooking grease in there. He poured that on me first,
Okay.
then he started whacking me with the pot.
Okay, so, I'm gonna stop you there. You say he poured grease on you. Was the grease hot at the time you poured it?
No, it wasn't.
Okay. And, about how big was the pot? What kind of pot was it?
It's when you cooking holiday food, them big old round pots, steel pots, the good stuff, heavy, that.
You had a handle on it?
Yep, I still have the pot.
And you said he started hitting you with the pot. Where on your body did he hit you?
Upside my head, he hit me so hard it made a dent in the pot.
Okay, and did he hit you more than once with it?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yes?
yes.
And did he hit you anywhere besides the head with the pot?
He was just knocking me upside my head with the pot.
Okay. Did you suffer any injuries from the pot?
Yes.
Okay.
I damn near went blind if he would've kept going.
So what kind of injury did you suffer?
I had a hole real big in my face above my eye,
Okay.
right there in this
And I'm
area.
gonna stop you just right there. I'm holding what is marked People's Proposed Exhibit 1, and I'm showing the defense counsel. May I approach the witness, Judge?
Yes.
Yeah,
Go ahead and take that from me for a second. Thank you. So I just handed the witness Proposed Exhibit 1. Could you please tell me what you're holding there?
a picture of my face. After
Okay.
the hospital cleaned me up.
And is there one or two photos on there?
So,
Okay, and are those photos a fair and accurate depiction of the injury you suffered on that day?
yes,
Okay, people would move to admit as Exhibit 1.
Any objection?
Not for example, Mr. Judge.
Will be admitted as People's One?
And permission to publish to the court?
Yes.
Okay, so after he hit you with the pot, what happens next?
I was begging him to stop, he wouldn't. The neighbor down the street was looking around outside of the house because I was in there screaming and all the loud noise. And I'm like, Dante, stop, I'm not gonna tell him, you just leave, and he already know, and,
Okay, so at this point, have you called the police or anything?
I couldn't, he took my phone and broke it.
Okay. And so you just testified you were telling him to leave?
I kept asking him, begging him to leave, I was on the floor bleeding on my head.
Okay. Does he eventually leave?
Yeah, he left because the neighbor was outside looking around the house, like I said, and, I told him that the neighbor was a cop.
Okay.
I'm not gonna tell on you, so just leave. So after a while, he waited till the neighbor, went back home and the coast was clear and he left. Told me he was gonna come back and kill me, cause I gotta die.
Okay.
And then
So I'm gonna stop you there. After he leaves, what do you do?
hopped in my car and went around to my mom's house. And then, I ended up going to the police station and to the hospital.
Okay, and so did you report this incident at the police station?
Yes,
Okay, and then you say you went to the hospital,
yes,
and were you treated for injuries?
yes.
Okay. No more questions at this time, Judge.
Thank you. Cross-examination?
Your Honor, if I may.
Yes.
Good morning, Ms. Harris.
Hi, good morning.
Ms. Harris, I'm gonna ask you some questions, and if you don't understand, please let me know, and I'll try to rephrase it in a way that you can understand. Is that fair? Now, Ms. Harris, you've already testified that on or about October 14th of 2019, you were at your home on Hubble Street, correct?
Yes.
And did you reside there with Mr. Woodward?
No, he didn't stay there. I stayed there.
Okay, and you testified earlier that you have a child in common with Mr. Woodward, correct?
Yes.
And did that child stay at the house with you, ma'am?
Did the child stay in the house with me at the time? Yes.
Yes,
One
okay.
for my kids though.
Okay, now, was the child home during this alleged incident?
No, he dropped him off at school and came back.
How old is your child?
He will be 8 years old on the 28th of this month.
Okay, so that would mean he was about 6 back then, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And you said that this was sometime early in the morning, around 10 o'clock or so?
Yeah, early in the morning, yes.
Okay. And at this particular time now, did Mr. Woodward have a key to this house, or you'd have to let him in?
No, he didn't have a key to my house. I had to let him in.
Okay, so is your testimony here today that there was some type of argument that ensued between yourself and Mr. Woodward, correct?
The argument started, he gets loud and angry and wants to fight
Okay,
when he's mad.
okay, but the question is, there was an argument that occurred between yourself and Mr. Woodward on this day, correct?
Yes.
Okay, now, did this argument, was there any, let me ask you this, you said that Mr. Woodward actually dropped the child off to school, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that means he came to your house to pick up the child first, or did he stay with you that night?
No, my son was with him.
Oh.
He actually had our baby over the weekend, and he dropped him off at school.
Okay.
Then he came back to my house wanting to talk to me.
Okay, so was there any preamble, was there anything leading up to this argument? You guys had a discussion prior to him trying to come into your house, correct?
I mean, only thing it was, is I didn't want his, I had a situation that occurred in my house back in
Right.
2016.
Right.
So my thing is, I don't want nobody at my house or know where I stay at. So I don't know like what his issue was, but he would try to make me mad by bringing people to my house. So I just asked him not to bring nobody to my house.
And these were women that he was sleeping with, right?
I guess at the time, she was his girlfriend.
Okay, so there was multiple women or girls that he would bring by the house, and you didn't like that, right?
No, I ain't gonna say multiple.
Okay, but
But
there
the
was,
objects are relevant.
I'm trying to figure out the relevance to
it's absolutely relevant, Judge. We're talking about the preamble that led to this alleged argument. We're talking about a discussion about, other women, and this is a domestic situation in which there's a dating relationship, so there's.
We weren't
Hold on.
So, I'm speaking to.
I'm gonna allow you some leeway, but I mean, we could be here all day talking about issues that could potentially cause people to get excited,
Right,
that have had a prior, relationship with one another. So,
absolutely.
this is kind of a slippery slope, but, okay, is there much more along the lines of that?
Not much.
Okay.
Okay, so it's your testimony that you didn't like the fact that he was bringing another girl or girls by.
No,
right?
that wasn't the case.
Okay, it wasn't the case at all.
No, the thing was, I didn't, listen, my ex was murdered at my house, okay?
Okay,
So I did not want nobody at my house. And he knows that. Even when me and him stayed together, I didn't even want his friends coming to the house, because this is Detroit, we lived in at the time.
okay, but
And
I'm
it's
sorry, I'm
rough.
sorry to cut you off, but there was an issue with him bringing a girl by your house and
It
waiting
was
outside,
issue with him bringing anybody to my house.
including a girl, right?
Anybody.
But the question is including a girl, right?
Anybody, sir.
Okay, so are you gonna answer the question? or
I
not?
just said anybody, sir. She's
Including-
included.
One at a
Any
time,
women-
please, one at a time, please.
Including a girl that he was in a relationship with, right? Yes or no?
I just said anybody.
Yes or no?
I don't know if you're trying to make this about a female or not.
I'm
but
not trying
I
to
don't
make it
get
about
what's
anything,
going.
can you answer the question? Yes or no, did that include?
I said anybody, so I don't know how you're gonna take that.
I asked the questions, not you, so answer the question, yes or no. Does that include a girl that he was dating with at the time?
Anybody, he brought it to the house
Yes
before.
or no?
Now, Mr. Nasser.
I don't know what anybody means
Hold
to
on,
him.
hold on, excuse me. Mr. Nasser.
Judge, I'm trying to elicit a very simple question, and I'm not getting, I did get the
You're not
answer.
getting the response that you want. We are not going to sit here while you continually ask the same question over and over.
I would ask you,
Her response was, anybody. That is her response.
okay, I'll move on. All right, so on this particular date, you've already testified you let Mr. Woodward into your house, right?
Yes.
Okay, and it's your testimony that ultimately this is an individual that you've had a pre-existing relationship with, right?
Back in 2014.
But you have a child with him, right?
Yeah, that was years ago, sir.
Okay, years ago, you still have that child, right?
Yeah, but the relationship
Okay, so
died. years
just
ago.
listen to the question, man. I'm saying, so you have a child with him today and back in 2019, right?
Yes, I have a child with Mr. Moore.
Okay, and you guys had a situation where the child was being dropped off to school and visiting his father, right? Back in 2019.
Arrangements I made, because he didn't want to actually get his child unless I was messing with him. But I'm trying not to be emotional and cry right now, but you pressing my buttons, you really is.
Well, I'm asking you very simple questions. You don't have to get emotional about it. I'm asking you a very,
Go ahead.
okay. It's a very simple question. On that particular date, you've already testified that he dropped your child and his child to school, right?
Yes,
And then he proceeded to come to your house, right?
yes,
Okay, and he knocked the door, agreed?
yes,
And at this point in time, you guys are not involved in a relationship, is that correct?
right,
Okay, because, he's seeing somebody else, perhaps you're seeing somebody else, but you guys are not in a relationship, right?
right,
However, you would agree that you let this individual into your house, right?
yes,
Okay, and after you let him into your house, you guys got into an argument, right?
sure, yes,
Okay, and things got heated, is that fair?
yes.
Emotions are running high like they're running high right
His
now?
emotions was running high, I was scared.
And, okay, and so you're just telling me your emotions don't run high like they're running high right now?
His emotions were running high, I was scared.
And you were calm, right?
I mean, what are you doing, somebody that's about to take your life? Tell me how you play.
And you don't ask the questions, ma'am, I do. I'm asking you a simple question. You were emotional like you are today, right?
Do you understand this is not my first incident with Mr. Woodward? Do you understand that I've been through this situation with him before? Do you understand that he's trying to take my life? I have 2 fucking kids, and you trying to sit up here and talk to me like this nigga not fucking wrong? Do you hear yourself? You asking me stupid ass questions. I'm giving you every fucking answer you asking for, so stop.
All right. Now, listen, there is an expectation that the court has with anyone that's inside of this courtroom. That's number
I'm
one.
sorry.
However, Mr. Nasser, I will say, I don't know if this was the response that you were looking for, but you were asking very, very pointed questions
Well, Judge,
that were leading us to this very point.
exactly. The point is, I'm just showing the emotion. She can't answer a simple question. I'll direct this
I'm
court.
not sure if the court understands the point that you've made. I don't know if we're picking up the same point.
The point is, Judge, is that it was an emotional situation and emotions were running high on both ends. That's a simple question.
And she never acquiesced to that. She didn't say that. She said that she said that she
And I
was
said-
scared. And you want her to say something different,
No,
and you're continually nudging the situation to the point where there's an explosion now. Now, I'm gonna ask you to make sure that you maintain yourself and have a level of decorum about you in this particular courtroom, okay? In any courtroom. But Mr. Nasser, you can't keep poking the situation and expect not to have an explosion like this. And I think that the point that you think that you're making, I'm not certain that it's the same point that the court has picked up.
Well, Judge,
So I would just ask for us to please move on.
absolutely, Judge. I would ask this court to direct Ms. Harris to answer the questions and.
Well, hold on, and I did ask her to act with a level of decorum. But I'm not going to instruct any witness to give the answer that the defense attorney keeps trying to get, if that is not her answer.
Okay.
So the question repeatedly gets asked again and again because you're not hearing the verbiage that you want, and that is not fair either or appropriate. So, again, I would ask that you maintain a certain level of calmness in the courtroom. If you need to take a moment, we'll take a moment. You can have some water and step into the hallway. But I would also ask that you not continually ask the same question over and over to gaslight the responses that are being given here.
Yes, Judge. May I proceed?
Yes,
Well, Judge, if I could, I just want to put my objection on the record, ask and answer.
objection sustained.
Okay, may I proceed, Judge?
Yes.
All right, so Ms. Harris, you've already testified that this individual came into your house and he was emotional, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and your desire was.
He wasn't emotional at first. He got emotional when he started fighting me because I wouldn't agree to what he was saying.
Okay,
That's when he started acting retarded.
okay, so he came in, originally there was a calm discussion between you two, right?
Not really, no.
Okay, so clarify what you meant then. You just said he came in and originally.
He
and then
came
retarded.
in talking slow and calm at first, and
Okay.
it's a hypothetical. Then he started yelling at me.
Okay,
Then he started whacking me.
okay, so when he walked in and you guys had a discussion, agreed?
He had a discussion.
Okay, so he was talking and you were not saying anything?
No, what do you do?
Okay, again, I asked the questions, man. So it's a very simple thing. So he's talking to you and you're not responding. Agreed?
When you were in a situation where
Objection,
you see
answer.
her,
Objection, sustained.
Okay. He's talking to you.
Are you gonna ask the same question?
No, Judge, I'm not getting any answer, let alone the answer that I want.
She answered no.
Okay. I don't believe she did, but she did, okay. So at some point in time, this argument gets escalated. Well, this discussion, one-sided discussion through Mr. Woodward to you, gets escalated to the point that he's yelling at you, right?
yes,
Okay, and at that point in time, where are you situated in the house?
in the kitchen still, my kitchen is big,
Okay, where is he?
in front of me.
Okay, so he's also in the kitchen.
He's overpowering me, yes, in the kitchen.
Okay, when you say, I'm talking about,
When you yell at your dog, don't you just sit there and whine?
I don't have a dog.
When you yell at a dog, do it sit
I
there
don't
and
yell
whine.
at dogs, I answer questions, man.
Please don't ask questions.
Okay, so, where's your phone at the time?
I didn't have it.
You did not have it.
No, I didn't.
Okay, so that's why, at this point in time, did you make any efforts to call the cops?
How can I when he took my phone?
Okay, so let's get to that. I just asked, did you have your phone? You said no.
No, I did not have my phone. It was probably in the kitchen somewhere. But
Probably.
he took the phone when he came in.
Okay, where was the phone originally?
It was in the kitchen. He took my phone.
Okay, so that was not part of your original version of the events. So let's go back again.
That was my original version of the events. He took my phone.
Okay, so he entered through the kitchen. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, he grabs your phone
He
before
didn't
he
just
talks
grab
to
it
you.
off rip. First, he got there assaulted me first.
Okay, assaulting you first. Then he grabs your phone.
I don't know where you're getting it.
Well, if you listen to the question, he grabbed your phone, correct? Did you see him grab your phone?
Yes, I see him grab my phone.
Okay, how many phones do you have?
I only have one.
Okay, let me ask you this. How many entrance or exits are in this house?
Two.
Okay, did you make any effort to leave your house?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and he blocked
And he
you?
knocked me out with the pots.
Okay, so,
Every time I try to run, you gotta understand, he poured grease on me, okay?
okay,
That means my whole kitchen floor, I have pictures, you want me to show you guys in my phone? I have pictures of my house looking like a murder scene because blood was pouring out my head, because he poured grease on me first. So understand how slippery my house was to try to run out the kitchen when you get knocked down every time you try to run.
before the grease.
He poured grease on me first. I don't know what part of first is not registering.
I don't know what part of first doesn't register to you. You said that originally,
He poured grease on me first,
first
okay?
thing he did was.
First, when he came in the house,
Hold on.
he knocked me out, okay?
I recognize that this is a very tense situation, but please, if you could refrain from yelling, refrain from using profanity unless you're stating what the defendant said, and please refrain from asking Mr. Nasser questions.
Okay.
And just try to answer his questions and we can get through this a lot quicker.
Thank you, Judge. May I proceed? Okay, so your testimony now is the first thing that he did when he came in is threw grease on you, is that correct?
No, he came in the house yelling at me, then he knocked me to the floor, then he poured the grease on me,
Okay.
then he knocked me out with the pot several times.
Okay, was there
So my
any,
floor was slippery with grease. So yes, I tried to run out the house. Yes, I tried to leave. Yes, I tried to get away from him.
are you done? Is there anything more you want to add?
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying, is there anything else?
No, I'm just telling you, every time I tried to attempt, I was knocked out.
Was there any attempt made to leave before the grease was on the floor?
What do you mean?
Was there any attempt to leave your home before the grease
Yes.
was on the floor?
When he started yelling, yes.
Okay, you tried to leave,
I tried to leave every time.
okay. And how did you try to leave?
I don't know if I can overpower a man. But I tried to run out my front door.
Okay, you tried to run out your front door and he stopped you?
Yes, he knocked me out.
So you were running towards the door and he knocked you
He
out
knocked me out.
as you were running towards the door?
I couldn't even try to get to the door.
Okay, so it's fair to say you didn't try to leave then,
I
right?
tried several times.
Okay, let me ask you this, did you open the window and call for help?
How could I?
How could you?
Yeah.
Okay, you're in the
Leaning
kitchen,
on the floor out your head.
you're in
how
the
could
kitchen, you're in the kitchen at
So
some
you
point.
trying to get away and somebody yelling, sit the fuck down?
You're in the kitchen at some point, right?
I was in the kitchen the whole time. The
Okay,
kitchen is
are there
big.
windows in the kitchen?
Yes, it is.
Okay, let me ask you this, you testified that, that the neighbor was looking around the property,
My
right?
blinds is always open.
I'm sorry?
My blinds are open, they're always open.
I'm sorry, couldn't hear you.
My blinds are always open. I'm a type of person that open my blinds up in the morning, every morning.
Okay, so your blinds are open, right?
Open, always open.
Okay, so, and you saw your neighbor?
Yes, we both did.
Okay, and did the neighbor see you?
No,
Okay, who's this neighbor?
I forgot his name. He said a couple blocks down.
Couple of blocks down?
I'm sorry, a couple houses down, I'm sorry.
White guy, black guy?
Black.
And you don't know his name?
I forgot his name.
Did you provide that information to the police?
I don't remember.
Don't remember, okay. Young, old,
He's an older guy.
and he
My
lives,
neighbor didn't see the incident, no way. All he saw was his car outside. He was looking around the car because he heard me screaming and yelling.
okay, let me ask you this. Where does he live in proximity to you? To the
On
left,
the
to the
same
right?
side as me.
I'm sorry, please, can you wait until it finishes the question before you answer?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, please repeat your question.
Sure. Does he live, this is a single family home, right?
Yes,
So when you, through the front, does he live to the right or the left?
to the right,
How many houses down, if you know?
like, 2.
2 houses down, okay. Is your testimony that at some point in time, Mr. Woodward left your home, correct?
After I told him that the neighbor was a cop,
Okay, so you told him that,
yeah, I lied to him.
okay, and Mr. Woodward left, right?
Yeah, he said he was coming back to get me.
Okay, but he didn't come back, right?
I have to, I don't know what he did.
Okay, I'm saying he never came back to your home.
I don't know what he did.
You never saw him at your home again, did you?
I don't know what he did. I left my home when he left.
So it's fair to say you didn't see him at your house after that, right?
After?
Are you gonna answer, Judge, I'm gonna ask this court director to answer the question. It's a simple question. Did you see him at your house after that?
You
I'm not
asked me,
asking her to
I wasn't
Let me
in the house,
finish,
right?
ma'am. I'm not asking her to speculate as to what he may or may not have done. I'm directing this court to answer a simple question. Did you see him at the house after the incident? Yes or no?
I left my house after the incident.
Okay. And you testified that at this point, you didn't drive to the hospital, you drove to your mom's house?
And then to the police station, to the
Okay.
hospital.
Answer the question, yes or no? You went first to your mom's, right?
Yes,
Okay, how far is your mom from your house?
I'm around the corner.
Around the corner.
Yeah, at the time she stayed on Freedom.
Okay, so around the corner means a block, 2 blocks?
Hubble and Curtis, she stayed probably like 4 blocks off of Curtis.
Okay, and how long did you stay at your mom's house?
She wasn't there.
Okay, so you weren't actually able to see your mom?
Subject to relevance.
I am absolutely on the same page with you, Mr. Bloomers. What is the relevance to this line
To
of
the
question?
time of arriving to the actual hospital to receive his treatment where she went? Okay, so,
Ask her.
okay, I was getting to that, Judge, thank you. So, since your mother wasn't there, then you went to the police station or the hospital first?
To the police station or the hospital, either or.
Okay, no further questions, thanks.
Any redirect?
None from the people, Judge.
Thank you, Ms. Harris. You may exit the courtroom.
Thank you.
Are there any further witnesses for the prosecution?
No further witness from the people, Judge.
Is there a motion?
Your Honor, the people move to bind over on all charges.
I'm assuming, Mr. Defense, you didn't have any?
No witnesses, Judge, no.
Okay, I'm sorry, your motion again?
People move to bind over on all charges.
Your Honor, I would object to the bind over without further argument. This court has had an opportunity to listen to the testimony of Ms. Harris. Undeniably, this is an emotional situation for Ms. Harris. However, Judge, the preliminary examination is a stage where credibility must be weighed. And although this court certainly has empathy for all individuals that are present within this court, including that of Ms. Harris, the logical reasoning and the mindset of some of these questions and the explosiveness of this individual on this stand, I think, is reflective of how someone would respond under stimuli. And mine are simple questions. Mine are not those posed by an individual involved with a romantic situation or someone who shares a child. So my position is, undeniably, I understand the people's position. I understand that this is a probable cause standard. However, I believe that there's clearly questions of credibility and emotion that are being played here. And again, I would object to the bind over without further argument.
Your Honor, I think that the witness gave consistent testimony both on direct and cross. Certainly, things got emotional and heated on cross-examination, but I don't think that her testimony has changed in any substantial way, and the court's also seen evidence of the serious injury inflicted by the cop for the witness's testimony, so people who I know.
So, yes, the witness did get emotional. But the allegations here are real serious. And particularly when you throw in a domestic situation, in this instance, a prior relationship in which the defendant is the father of her child, given what not only was alleged to have occurred on the date in question, but also what, pursuant to your line of questioning, we found out that perhaps there's a whole history here of abuse. Yeah, it does have a tendency to evoke emotion. She's testifying as someone who's on the receiving end of this. So it may be a different perspective from someone who's reading the material and looking at it in a calm fashion. So I understand you're saying you're objecting with our argument, but if you're asking the court to deem that the complaining witness, by way of her emotional response to the questions, is somehow not credible with the testimony that she provided here today, the court respectfully disagrees. And the prosecution certainly has met their burden to establish by a probable cause standard that crimes were committed in the city of Detroit, County of Wayne, and that you probably committed those crimes. That burden has really easily been met here. There is a question of fact that I'm certain your attorney will hold the prosecution to that much higher standard that is required across the street. But as for now, the matter is bound over to the circuit court for further proceedings. The misdemeanor is going to travel along for the efficient administration of justice. And then let me also add, I was looking at the bond. I'm interested to hear if the prosecutor is satisfied with the bond, because after this testimony that has come out, I'm not so certain that bond, that personal bond with no GPS tether was appropriate.
Well, Judge,
let me just first say that the AOI date is going to be July 30th at 9 a.m.
if I can respond to that. I mean, if I may.
Actually, I was asking the prosecutor because maybe they don't have an issue.
I guess I would ask the judge if I could have just a minute to double check with my witness on it.
I would like to know if there's been any issues since he's been placed on bond.
Ms. Upworthy, are you on, Baruchko? What is it? Are you on Baruchko?
No, that's, Leslie's case.
I want to be still on, because the attorney is on Zoom. I saw him up there. There he is.
What? Hudson and Ayers are dismissed.
Oh, okay. Can you call those, Judge?
Yes.
Please, Hudson and Ayers. Can you get Ms. Barnwell?
Yeah.
And, Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Schaaf, what did you want to do on Baruchko? This is the clerk.
Yes, we were just either adjourning it or setting for exam for discovery. I spoke with the prosecutor. He was fine.
What prosecutor? You spoke with Mr. Slesky. Do you want to set it for an in-person exam? We're in December. Or if you want a probable cause, that's up to you. But we
I
gotta
think
do
a probable cause is fine, if that's okay with the
Okay.
court.
August 6th, does August 6th work for you?
Yeah, 1 second. Yeah, that's great.
Okay, you're all set then.
Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Do I have the parties on?